Hello, Maria.
Hello, Nils. How are you?
I'm doing well. It's working good.
Thank you.
So happy that you make some time for us tonight on Tempranillo Day.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for being here.
Do
I'm
you
very here.
do you also celebrate it in the region of Tempranillo, or is it not really? It's more like a worldwide thing. But I just noticed today that it is actually a worldwide Tempranillo Day today. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Uh, so if there's one wine that is like synonymous for your region and for your winery, then it must be Tempranillo. I don't know if you have any other grapes. Most wineries have some special project for the family, some small plants, but I think with you guys, Tempranillo for sure is I know the biggest and most popular grape. So we're going to talk about that. But first of all, I would like to introduce to everybody watching, Maria, you are part of a family that started an adventure. Maybe I can say it's about 20 years ago now, a little bit more.
Yeah, next year it will be 20 years that
20,
uh,
20 years anniversary.
yeah.
But we'll hear all about that because it's a very nice, interesting history and a project that you started. And we're here also because of Grande Pagos de España. And last week we had Jean Berandraat explaining us more or less what the association is about and what the taking us to the different regions in general. But we decided in the next 5 episodes that we wanted to highlight some regions in Spain, and doing that by inviting members of the association that are actually living there, working there, and being part of this big wine country, Spain, but with a lot of different wines and terroirs, and well, all about that later. But let's start a little bit with an introduction from your side. So I'll maybe tell the audience who you are and what your background is.
Okay. Well, as our our family, well, it's really the story of a dream. It was really my husband's dream to make to create this project, to create a project by his own. He had been working until during his first 25 years of his professional life for his family, for his company, a company focused on the pharmaceutical industry, but they also had 2 wineries. And then we moved to live in Logroño during 2 periods of our married life.
Mm-hmm.
And there we met a lot of wine producer, and we really became we fell in love of the world of wine. And when my husband was approaching the 50s, I always say that it was
Mm-hmm.
the middle age crisis. He was wondering what he could do during his following years,
Some
and
people buy a car, a sports car, but other people start a winery.
he decided to create his dream to become true, his dream. And then we have 5 children. It was a decision that it was very hard to take this decision because we
Impacting
were,
the whole family.
oh yeah, we were renouncing to a very comfortable life to be involved in this adventure. We were really very we really believed that it was possible to reach it and
Mm-hmm.
to have a success, but it was some risk. But finally, we decided to do it, and then in 2002, we bought 26 hectares of vineyards in Ribera del Duero because we were really lovers of Ribera del Duero wines, and then that's when our story started. We
And
took,
and that's now almost 20 years ago. So now
yeah,
we have a lot of ups and downs. Probably it's not always a straight line.
that's for sure.
Uh,
Yeah.
but now you are active in 2 regions actually. Yeah? Since a few years, you're only also in Toro. You're have a vineyards and make your wine.
Yeah, in 2008 we decided to expand, and then we went following the Douro River going to Portugal.
Yeah.
We decided to buy some hectares of old vines there, quite near 9 hectares of vines, about 90 years old, and then there we make a small production of a wine from Toro, 7,000 bottles,
Okay.
our wine Paidos. But the wines are in Grandes Pagos de España are the wines of Ribera del Duero.
Yeah. Yeah. So we will talk all about the different wines and also the names, because you can tell it's a family company because the wines are named after people in the family. So it's always nice.
Everything of the winery, everything is related to the family.
Yes, yes.
And
Your son is one of your sons is
yeah,
now working as well. Well, everybody has a role in the.
he's a winemaker from his first year as the winemaker is 2021. That is, it was last harvest, and but he has been he joined the company in 2011. He's agronomist, and he spent his first 6 year in the world of finances, but in 2011, my husband and I, we asked him if he wanted to come with us, and he was really happy to come, and I think he's very glad. And
You did not have to force him. It was his choice to be with you.
We are really in calm now, because it's really very very peaceful to have to know that he's following our project.
He's following up your dreams. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. I think we also have a question about that later, but that's from our previous guest, so we will come to that in the end. First, I wanted to ask you, because we're also talking about Grandes Pagos, España. What does the association mean for you personally, for the winery? What does it embody for you?
It was very interesting for us from the beginning. When we knew very well, because we knew some of the wineries that were in the association. We knew very well Carlos Falcó and Victor de la Serna and some of them, and then we really wanted to be inside when we had the opportunity. Just when we. In 2010, we were from 2005. We were on the market with some notes, some scores, international scores, and good reputation, national and international. And then
quite quick, because you started in 2002 and 2005. You were at your international debut, more or less, with good critics.
Yeah, and then. For us, it was very, very important to be because we thought it was we were sharing the same philosophy. We were sharing. We were people that believe that the wine is made on the soil, and all the wineries inside the Grandes Pagos de España, they share this philosophy. They work the soil because the wine is made there, and then. I think it's very, very interesting to be together and to go outside Spain together and to explain to other people and to can talk about other wineries that make things like we do, and it's very, very for us.
It's interesting because last week when we talked with Sean about it, he also explained the process of becoming a member. It's not easy. It's not like you get a lot of applications from wineries that want to join because they see the strength and they see the, let's say, what it can bring for them to act as a group of wineries and not just one single individual or one single winery. But it's not like easy to become a member, because we learned last time you really have to go through a selection process.
And the wines have to be very good, and they have to be evaluated every year. They have passed. They have been tasting by an expert committee. They wines every year to see if the quality, if the high quality is enough.
Yeah.
And then,
But what is also nice, what you said is internationally, the international aspect, because you guys really together go out in the international markets, act as a group to have a mission to translate the terroir of your region and of
yeah,
Spain into the world, more or less.
it's more easy to explain people if we are several wineries than if you are alone.
Yeah,
That
yeah, I totally agree. Yeah. Okay, that totally makes sense. So now we talk a little bit about the characteristics of the region. So, well, we focus on Ribera del Duero, as we said. When we think about that, and most people I talk to about, it's just synonymously with the grape Tempranillo, as I said at the beginning. So, well, this is what people think: red wine, Tempranillo. Well, what else can you tell us about Ribera del Duero? What you think is like very exemplary for
I
this
think
denomination?
the region that it's evolving a lot in the past 20 years. Like when we arrived there, on the following years, there were 100 of wineries, and now we are 300 of wineries.
So
And
three times in 20 years, three times the number.
it's incredible. And there are young people that are recovering old vines from Tempranillo, and they are making very good job with the Tempranillo vines, and other wineries that are planting the Cabernet or Syrah or other varieties, and they work well. It's like Abadia Retuerta. It's not in the in the appellation, but it's in the area, and it's in Grandes
So you
Parques.
get a lot of variety, more differences in variety, not only in the grapes, also in the style maybe of the winemaking, because the young winemakers learn from maybe other influences, so they will not use necessarily the same style of winemaking as there was in the past in the region.
I think we are making different things and different styles, and it's
It's
going.
good that you don't have all the same.
Yeah. They were known before. Long time ago, they were known like very with a lot of wood, a lot of body, very strong.
Stubborn wines. So really, if you like strong wines, then this would be your good wine.
Yeah, and now
But
it's
not smooth, silky tannins. This was not the case back then.
And now the people, the winemakers arrived here, and they started to work the vines in a different way. I think they change the mind of people when they think about Ribera del Duero wines.
So every time, obviously, a lot of people think when you talk about, okay, the wine has a strong body, the tannins, etc., that if you want to change something about that, that it's the process of making the wine. But it's not just that. It's also growing, how you grow the grapes. If you don't start at the beginning, when the grapes the vine is growing and the grapes are developing, then in the end you can try to fix it or change it, but only so much. Not,
during the year, the tasks that you make on the vines to the compost that you add to the vine, the cereals or the grains that you
and the
plant.
leaf management, everything.
That's very important to have very healthy wines.
So when we think about the climate, for instance, we're not going to talk too technical about the soil and the climate, but how would you characterize the climate for Ribera del Duero for people that have not been there? So in terms of the temperature differences, etc.
It's a very extreme. It's a continental climate, and then it's very extreme, very cold winters, very hot summers. But the the most important thing is the difference between day and night. It's very easy to for the grapes to be fresh during the day in
To
sun.
relax a little bit in the night.
During the night, the temperature falls until 15 degrees. During sunny days, we can be at 40 degrees.
So the difference can be 25 degrees between the day and the night.
And then that's good for the grapes, for maturing, for ripening, and for be fresher.
Okay. And in terms of the rainfall, are there periods where you have a lot, or is it how?
No, it's 400 of meters. I think it's for 400 or 500 meters of
yearly.
And it's a very small quantity, but if it's really very well, very healthy grapes, they are used to, and
Is this also typical for the Tempranillo grape that it's used to having to fight for water and it would not know what to do when there was a lot of rain, probably?
No. I think it's very good for them.
Okay. And the soils, when we talk about the soil in the vineyards, you have a couple of different vineyards. I don't know if there's any difference between the soils that you have there.
Absolutely. We made a hard study with Claude Bourguignon. When we started this project, we hired Claude Bourguignon from 2004 until 2008. And he came here to analyze every layer of the soil. We have 4 different plots, not all together, but not far one from another. And then we made this study, and we discovered that we had a lot of different soil, going to clay, limestone, sandy soil, chalky soils, very, very different. And then the 4 big plots were subdivided in small plots, depending on that were, because we only have Tempranillo. And then to have the complexity is to play with these type of soils during the.
So that means during the growing season, because you have differences in how you manage the plots, but also then in the end, obviously, when you harvested them, you vinify separately, or do you
separated until the end of the aging in barrels?
Okay.
That is, when the wines are aging in the barrels, they are separated by type of soils in different lots, and at the end of every period of aging of every lot, then we blend. We make the blending, the final blending, and then we made the real Alonso del Yerro or the real Maria, because we have 2 wines.
And then we have to. That's the nice moment to come, because then probably I can imagine that seeing all you of the family around one big table, small glasses from all the different plots, and really now you have to make the choice. Well, how is the blend going to be, and what kind of?
For Alonso del Yerro, we blend all the plots, but the is that the sandy soils don't need so many time in the barrels, and
so they get out earlier.
That's why they are separated. But at the end, all the soils are blended together. We don't put any lot.
But you have 3 wines, and we will come to that later. But Alonso del Yerro is a wine you make every year, correct?
Yeah, Maria is a selection of 2 small plots. One of them is called Violet, and the other one is Circo, and they are very different from the others. And then they were selected to make these special wine that takes my name, my first name.
I'm not making this up, but on the website it says you're the star of the family. I don't
Yeah,
know if you put it there or somebody did it for you, maybe your husband or I don't know, but it's really a
it was,
nice,
it was
how do you
it
call it? Nice
was
name.
my husband to put my first
Yeah,
name
yeah,
on the top wine, and then we
that's
make
nice.
thousand of bottles every year from these two plots. And if some year is not good enough, then we don't make Moria.
So sorry, we lost I think for 1 second, but how many bottles do you, if you produce this approximately?
Alonso del Yerro is about 60, 70,000 of bottles every
Yeah,
year, depending on the vintage.
yeah.
Uh, Moria between 6,000 and 7,000 of bottles.
So
Mm.
that's a really special wine because we're talking about 10% of your husband's
Yeah,
wine, I would say. It's the quality, yeah. It's not the quantity in this one.
that's a quality. It was a responsibility to put my first name on this top one.
Yeah. So
That's
obviously now
all
my
the best.
yeah. So I'm sorry, but now is the logical question that comes is okay. You have 5 children, if I remember correctly. How are you going to manage in the future these names? Because at some point they will say, "Now it's my turn to get a name," but
No,
it's not possible because you don't.
no, Alonso del Yerro is their family name,
Yeah. So that stays.
and that's all of them are inside.
And the
And
mother they cannot take away, so this stays
yeah,
as well.
and the name of the wine from Toro, the Paidos, it's after our younger son Pedro.
Yeah.
Was his signature when he was 8. He used to sign like it's in the label.
Oh,
Uh,
you have made a copy of this, and then you used it for the label
yeah,
that's nice.
he was 8 at that time, and then he designed his initials PAY, Pedro Alonso del
Yeah.
Yerro, and in the top his favorite number, that it was the number 2, and that
But he already said, "This is I want to have my wine, and now I make her the label." Or was it just something he drew, and later you thought, "Okay, we can use this for the wine label"?
yeah.
Was this idea when he was 8 already that he wanted to have his wine?
Hmm.
It's really interesting to see that, and then you added the Toro region came later into the game, but it's the same grape. But can you maybe a little bit explain the difference between the two?
Well, it's really genetically it's the same grape. It's
Yeah,
it's a different grape because it's adapted to the climate and the soils of Toro.
yeah,
Soils in Toro are very different from Ribera. They are big pebbles,
yeah.
sandy, and they remind the soils of Châteauneuf-du-Pape. More,
Okay, like the goblets.
yeah. Mm. And then the Tempranillo, that is called the Tinta de Toro.
Yeah.
The Tempranillo is adapted to this type of soils, and it's a very different grape, but it's really Tempranillo. With,
Yeah, so when I say the same, I mean, I'm not Spanish, so maybe I can get away with saying this, but you're really right because I know the Tempranillo grape has in Spain a lot of different names, and
yeah, a
the
lot.
name is very influenced by the region
Even
as well.
even in Ribera, there are people that call Tempranillo and others call Tinta del País, and you can find different names. Hmm.
Yeah. And do you, you told us a little bit about the origin of the winery. So you started about 20 years ago now, and it was 26 hectares now? Or how
26
much? 26 hectares, yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Do you also have some ideas to start any new project? Because, well, at some point Toro came in the game, but is always looking for something else, or are you happy with
We
how it
are,
is
we
now?
really are, but perhaps in the future we could go to another region, another wine
Yeah.
region, like another Joel, like Maria or like Paidos, and but in other appellation. We
Yeah.
don't know, but
You don't
we're
want to
all
compete with
that, but we can do we can do anything now.
no, but
Uh,
yeah, sometimes you just have to wait for the right moment and it comes or it doesn't come, but you don't plan it per se on the detail on how it's going to be. It's just momentum, maybe.
Mm, for at the moment, I cannot say
Okay.
any other idea.
Very good. In terms of the winemaking, we talked a little bit about it as well, about how you take the plots separately and then you create the wines. Today we are, I do show it at the beginning, but I also put it on the website. We are drinking the Alonso del Yerro, so this is the one with the family name on it. Actually, this is the one that is every year produced. So we have 2016.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about, before we go into tasting this, tell us a little bit about how the aging process works, and because when did 2016 came on the market? How long is that?
Well, the 2016 it was on the market at the beginning of 2021.
Yeah. Okay.
Because we give it some bottle. The Alonso del Yerro, it stays in the barrels about 12 months, depending on the every lot, every
Yeah.
type of oil. Some of the soils are perhaps 6 or 7 months in the barrels, and other have to be even 12 or 14 months in the barrels. But at the end, the average is 12 months
12 months. Yeah.
of
And
oak.
then you have
And only
quite
French oak.
decent bottle aging as well, as you said.
Yeah. And then, it was bottled on July 2018. And from then until January this year, it was aging in the bottle.
Yeah. So we have there are obviously a lot of wine lovers that love Spanish wine watching, but there are also people that are maybe not drinking that much Spanish wine yet. So just to go a little bit into the how do you call it, categories, because with you it's always about aging in the oak. This is what defines also the category of the wine. So this one is 12 months of on average of oak aging. So tell us a little bit about how the levels, how that's built up, and what the names do we have for those people that don't drink that many.
Ribera, they still have the categories of crianza, reserva, and gran reserva, but we don't follow this selection. We taste the wines, and when the wines are ready to be on the market, we release the vintage.
So you have, in that perspective, you have more freedom or own interpretation of, like you said, when it's ready.
I think we taste the wines every month when they are aging in the barrel, and to see if it needs to be raked, to be changed from one barrel or to put off and to go into the steel tanks to wait for spots. But when the wine is bottled, and then we taste it every 1 or 2 months to be how he's doing, if the tannins are soft enough to be able to enjoy the wine. And then when we think they are ready to go into the market, then we decide and we release it. That's but it's really a bit artisanal. That is, it's not. It's not by analysis or by or by.
No, it's more about feeling that you need. It needs to feel
feeling.
good, and then it's. Yeah, as nice. But how do you? I mean, I did also in previous conversations and talks hear that we had that now in the Rioja region, people are having more difficulties with the strict process about following this these periods of aging, because like you said, if you really want to listen to your own wine, then you have to think about ahead and about how long that's going to be, and you cannot tell, because sometimes you think it's ready, and then you make, like you do it, you put the label on it and that's what it is. But in there you have to plan it. If you're in Rioja, you have to say, okay, now this is what I'm going to make, And
yeah.
not a lot of people don't agree with that anymore. I mean, it's a system that's been designed some long ago, but now it's not really realistic anymore, maybe.
No, I think it's not realistic anymore. I think they should change it.
Yeah, yeah. But it's a
Or
lot of politics as well, maybe. But
I'm seeing that a lot of wineries, at least in Ribera, that they were following the way of Reserva, Gran Reserva, and Crianzas. They are becoming now like we are more like when they decide that the wine is ready, they put it on the market, and that's all. And they
yeah,
don't need Reserva or Gran Reserva or Crianza. Mm.
yeah. So this one is a cosecha, cosecha. My
Yeah.
Spanish is. I
This-
used to live. I tell you, I used to live in Spain for half a year, but I totally forgot. So if you ask me to pronounce in Spanish, it's gonna go wrong. But the nice thing about this one is like you said, it has on average this wine has 12 months of oak, but then even quite a long time bottle aging because it came on the market 2021 and it
yeah.
was harvested 16, so that means it's 3 years more or less on top bottle aging that you guys before you release it.
Exactly. And
So
then
you're really much on top of it. You really have a big cellar probably as well for the bottles all to keep all
I
of them.
very, very important to the bottle for these wines because the Tempranillo is very, it has a lot of body.
Yeah,
That we know that it's a very, very, very thick. you,
yeah,
and then it needs to be dominated, not dominated, but to be slowed by the bottle and the barrels, and it has to have sometimes evolving in the bottle.
yeah. So just because we're going to show one more time before we're going to taste. So this is the bottle. You have a really nice classical design, stylish. You have this one has 14% alcohol, so it's well still for Tempranillo it's good. It's not.
We are the region that it's not possible to have less
No, no,
degree.
no. Don't ask to do less because
But
that's
I
not
think
going
the
to.
thing is the balance, and it's
Yeah.
a lot of balance, and then that,
Oh, I agree. Sometimes you can drink wines that have, I don't know, 15 or 16%, and you don't even feel that it's in there because it's just so well integrated and everything is falling into each other. So then you don't have
that
this issue. And
that's
in the end, you get a percentage and that's it. I mean, you cannot turn any buttons anymore and it's ready, it's ready. That's the whole thing. So I already put some in the glass. So let's see what you can tell us about this wine in particular, about the taste and the characteristic of this.
the 2016 has been one of our best vintages. It
Mm-hmm.
was very, very productive, and the first half of the year we had a lot of rainfalls, and the second part we didn't have any any single drop. so so
So in the
the
beginning, it grew very quick.
a lot, and then it was a very good year, and very with a lot of production, and it was good because in 2017 we had the frost and we had the small
So you
production.
had low yields.
So it was, yeah, we passed, we made I think 80,000 bottles in 2016,
Ah,
80,000 bottles for the first year. And in 2017, we made only 20,000 bottles. And
so
we did,
that's a quarter, more or less. Yeah, a quarter.
and we didn't make Maria on this year. 2000.
Yeah, that was impossible to do it that year.
It was horrible.
Yeah.
But 2016, it was beautiful. The grapes were really ripe, and the balance is really is amazing. It's really well balanced. It's very fresh with a lot of fruit, a lot of flowers, and I think it's one of our best vintages. And for Alonso del Yerro, it's one of our best. Maria.
Yeah, I
Also,
think when actually this, so obviously this is the first wine of you guys that I'm drinking, but what I'm surprised about is that and yes, okay, you have it for 3 years, you keep it in your cellar in the bottle, so it has this aging already effect of that at least, but that it's already so advanced in terms of the integration, and it's so such a relaxed wine, and you can feel it's not. It's already well quite in his place, and you can drink it now, you can put it away, obviously you can put it away for a long time.
it's it will, well, it will be kept for a lot of years. We offer all our wines can be kept in a to be drunk in 20 or 25 years. We are sure. We offer to our grandchildren, to every
Yeah,
grandchild, we offer them one barrel, the equivalent of one barrel of Maria of their year of birth. And
yeah.
then 2009, we have 12 grandchildren.
So all the barrel, all the
We have
bottles are staying somewhere separately.
300 bottles of to each one from their year of birth, and we will give it to them when they will be 18, because we are sure that the wine will be ready for them.
It's nice because a lot of people that are into wine and have children, they think, okay, when they are born, I will buy a box or I will buy 2 boxes maybe for them to keep. But with you, they get the barrel and you have 300 bottles.
And Maria.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, Maria. So it's not the simplest one. They get the best one. They get. That's nice. But what happens in the year when you have like 2018 and there is no Maria?
Well,
What do you do?
first time, because in 2017 it was our second time that we didn't make Maria, and
Okay.
one was in 2007. That is when the years finishing in seven, they are not good wines for
Oh,
us. And we
that's still a few years ahead. So the next
no,
one
no, no.
is
And then in 2017 we had a new grandkid and grandchild, and he has 300 bottles of Alonso del Yerro, because he's the only one that no, he couldn't have any bottle of Maria.
he's in a lucky position. What is when we talk about the availability of the wines? You already mentioned with the association, but also on your own, you're internationally active with the wine. So, how much percent do you do export, or which countries do you normally mostly export to?
50-50. We export
Okay.
50%, mainly in the US and Mexico and Switzerland and in Germany,
Mhm.
and and the other 50% in Spain. Hmm.
Okay. And of course, always the good question is, what do we eat with this wine? And now, obviously, we can go for simple answers like I don't know, steak or something. But I would like to have like a regional suggestion from you. So,
Well,
what would you personally? What do you like to eat with this
well,
wine?
Alonso del Yerro, I really drink it with anything, because even with some fish, but
Yeah.
very fish like um, uh, I don't I can I don't know the name in English of,
But what type is it? Like
but
fat fish or like
with
just
a with
totally
a
not?
with a thick meat, a very,
Okay.
and then this is very good for
Yeah.
Alonso. And in, for example, we sell very well in the Japanese restaurants, because
Okay.
it seems that it was it goes very well with the fish and the fresh fish there, and with steak and everything, it's the best, and with chocolate, and with the dessert of
Chocolate. Yeah.
chocolate, very good.
Always good to sell it in a box with a box of chocolate and a bottle of nice Alonso del Yerro.
It is.
And for the Maria, it's different because it's, yeah, like you said, it's different wine. Or would you say it's then, are you, as a person or as the wine, are you more, how do you call it, selective on what food do you pair, or is it the same, would you make the same combinations?
No, it's the same. It's more, no, not.
Or maybe you say, okay, you have to drink, you prefer, I prefer you to drink this one separately, not with the food, but just enjoy the wine. That's also
No,
obviously a good option.
wines, and then I enjoy a lot, always.
Really. So last week we had John in the show, and obviously for those people that watch us, and also on other other shows, we always have a question for the guest for the next show. So he was asking, what does it mean to know that the project that you spent so many years on with the whole family, and you moved and you started this whole, that this will stay and remain for the future generations, because you talked already about the grandchildren, they are there and they have their barrels, but the name will be there and it's really a legacy. So how does it make you feel when you
Oh,
see all this now?
I'm really proud to see that they love this project that we do, and
Hmm.
that because we always said that it was our dream, not the dream. It has to be my husband and mine, but perhaps our children, they didn't like it, and fortunately they love this project. They love to come here to for harvest. They taste the grapes during the month of September, and
Hmm.
to go to walk with my grandkids, my grandchildren, walking by the vines and tasting the grapes. It's really, really, well, it's really wonderful. It's amazing.
You could tell, even if you've never been there and never met the family, people go to your website, they will see what you're saying, they will experience this, the feeling you get straight away with the pictures that you use with the family, but also on your Instagram. I've noticed a lot of pictures with the children also and the grandchildren, even when the grapes come in from the harvest, and they're always somewhere in the picture. They're always
Somewhere.
part of the whole the
Just
winery.
so involved in the project that we're really happy to see that it's going to have some continuation.
Yeah.
They will follow. They will follow. We will sure. We are sure.
So you already mentioned that you have five children. Are the other ones, like I said, most of them have a role in the winery? But is there any how do you call it? Of course, they have a preference of what they do. One of them is a winemaker, as you already mentioned. What are the other ones doing in the winery? Can you tell us
Uh,
a little bit about the different jobs that they have or tasks that they like to
Miguel,
do? Or
well, Miguel, he's a winemaker. He's agronomist, and he's working with us now. And Maria, Fatima, and Marta, the three girls, they have their own job and different job, but they are really involved. If I need them to give a tasting in some place because I'm traveling, they can do it. And Pedro, the youngest, he's a industrial engineer,
yeah.
and he really finished 1 year ago, and he's working abroad in another company in energies,
Hmm.
and but because we want to be outside the company during his first 5 6 years
Yeah,
to
so
be,
they need to experience something different
yeah,
before,
and
even if they say we want to come straight away, you tell them no, first try
it
something else and then you can come, of course.
has to be their choice to come here and to work with us, and if he wants, and I hope he will want, and if he wants, he will be welcome
You
in
always have a place in the family, in the
here.
winery. Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
I really love to have them here.
It's nice. It's nice that they all find their way in contributing, and they you don't have to ask. They just they come and they help you, and they just well feel that they're really a part of this project and of the company. Yeah.
That's very good. Yeah.
So you touched the point that I would also, before we go into the last part and we see if there's any questions, and also you will probably have a question for our guest for next week, Tony Sarion. And but what I also wanted to talk about is the tourism, because you already mentioned just a minute ago that your daughters then help sometimes with tastings, etc. But how does tourism play a role in your region and in your winery? Because it's not forever been like that.
Incredible. We make a tourism very, very, very special, because it's not a common. We don't make massive groups. There are small groups and only private groups, and then we make different experiences, and one of them is of different wines from Grandes Pagos de España, and they are very popular now, because they are coming a lot of people that are asking for this type of experiences. They want to taste good wines and to spend a day with us, eating at the winery with us, and to be a part of the family for a day, and it's growing every day, and I was impressed, because this year it's last year it was everything was stopped, and now every day I have calls interesting, especially on the weekends, but not only on the weekends. Some of them come on Tuesday, on Wednesday, and all of them very interested in different wines or different vintages, on tasting and explaining and learning. They are very interested in learning about wines.
It's interesting, because obviously I visit a lot of wineries for tastings, and normally when you do a tasting, I mean, you can do a tasting everywhere, it's no problem. You just open the bottles and you taste the wines, and that's it. But if you listen to how you guys are looking at it, you really want the people to, for a day or for a few hours, be a part of the family. And also when you look at the website, you see the different packages that you offer. It's all centered around being a part of the family. So, of course, it's important to taste the wines, but it's more the feeling that you want to give them when they go home than just having tasted the wines.
No, they really feel like they were a part of family, and then I think that's why the name of the wines keep in mind for all their life.
It sticks with them. It's an experience, and the experiences you don't forget. And even if you pick up the same bottle somewhere else a year later or 10 years later, you will always remember that you were there that day and was part of the process, and actually got to see in the cellar, in the vineyard, everything.
And they taste from the barrels, directly from the barrels, the different types of soils, and we
you explain them how that works and how the end product comes together.
They love to come.
That's nice. And also with the package where you offer the different wines from the Pagos, Grande Pagos de España, I also get it, because obviously you are in a region where you is really much a single grape variety region. So at some point you can taste a lot of Tempranillo, but it's also nice to have, Spain is a very big country. There's a lot of different regions, a lot of different grapes. A lot of people, especially the people that are not from Spain, don't have an idea about the diversity of the wine offer from Spain. So then it's nice that you can say, okay, and we're just going to offer 4 or 5, I don't know how many there are, just to give you an idea about what else is there just outside Ribera del Duero and Tempranillo.
That's why it's very interesting, this experience of Grandes Pagos de España, because they are here. For example, they come, some American people, for example, they come here to the region. They are visiting other wineries, and here they can taste white wine of Fillaboa, like I have today, of the wines of Grandes Pagos de España, or I have Finca Valpiedra from Rioja, or Gramona, the Cava Gramona from Catalonia. Then it's they can learn. Again, it's a way of learning, and it's very interesting for them.
Yeah, I wanted to ask always when I have somebody who has a winery in a region which is so dominated by one grape. I always want to know what other wines do you drink, because I can imagine living in there and having Tempranillo every day. You still love it, but you also want to have something else. So what are your favorite wines when it's not Tempranillo?
Today I was drinking Fiaboa because I love it. It's one of my favorite Albariños. And then I was drinking this one, the Fiaboa. I don't know this. And well, it's really nice. And I love other wines. I love wines from Bordeaux. I love Bordeaux wines, Burgundy wines, Porto wines, the wines from Douro. I love the wines from Portugal. I really love the wine. So it's not only Tempranillo but other varieties, and I love Shiraz, and I think I had a lot of favorite wines.
It's nice, and I remember we had a show. It was not in this series for Grandes Pagos España, but it was before. It was with Bodega César Principe from Cigales, and we were talking about. They also have the red wines there, but they're also known for the rosé wines. So we were talking about what do you drink during the day. And so with us on the table is always a bottle of rosé. The red wine is only for special occasions on Sunday or with the festivities or celebration, but it's for the rest. It's during the day when we have a dinner or food, then there is a rosé wine. So for them, it's also this or that.
We
always.
We drink white, rosé, red, every wine, and bubbles. We love.
And this is where you learn a lot as well. Huh? I mean, getting the experience is teaching, drinking and experiencing the different expressions of a terroir and the climate, etc. So you were talking about Burgundy. It's very different. Huh? I mean, in the mineralistic minerals and the that's. I mean, it's not something that you maybe want to copy because you cannot copy it, but it gives you maybe an idea about, okay, if we try a little bit this or that, that's how it works. Very good. So just for everybody watching, if you have any questions, this would be a moment to drop the questions. So you can just type them in the chat, or you can click on the question mark button that's in the bottom, and then we can ask them to Maria. About questions, of course, I told you we have next week Tony Sarion from Bodega Mosteguillo. And what would be your question for Tony? Because by coincidence, yesterday I was in Valencia evening, and we were talking very much about the Bobal grape. And then we talk about Bobal, we talk about Tony, and we talk about Mr. Guillo. So yeah, we are there. What's your question for Tony? Let's start with that.
I'd like to ask Tony what wine and vintage was his favorite wine. What is he's more proud of what wine and vintage he made?
So for his own wines, you mean? So what is his most successful vintage in his own winery?
But not his successful, but for him, what wine is he more proud of? Perhaps because it was a difficult year, and he had a nice wine, or I don't know. But
I think it's a nice addition, because yes, you can ask, okay, what is your favorite vintage? But the explanation why is very important, because some people might be proud of something because it's hard work. some people just think, okay, it's just everything came together in this vintage in terms of the circumstances. So we will ask him and see what he has to say about that. So that's very, very interesting question. Then I don't have any question yet, but maybe somebody will drop in. But before we go to the end, then that means that next week we will go to more or less the region of Valencia and go a little bit more into the country. And after that, we have, so with the next one, we have only 4 more episodes left. Out of the guests that are coming between, let's say, next week, Tony, and then the end, what is your, I don't want to ask you about the favorite, but I want to ask you, what is the one where you have maybe that is the most different to you, to your winery and the region? So the contrast between Ribera del Duero and yours and the guests that are coming in the next weeks.
No, I'm sorry. The difference between my winery and other wineries in Ribera?
No, the one. So your winery in the region compared to the ones that we will have in the next episode. So we will have Tony next week, and then we will also go into Cotillo Los Aguileres. So we have a lot of different regions.
They're really different regions, all of them, and that's good. Because we are in the North Plateau, and now you are changing to another climate with Tony, and it will be really different. And with Bibi in Cortijo Los Aguilares, it's something amazing with his wines, his wonderful wines. I think we are really different, different soils, different climates, and different grapes.
Yeah, well, I have to say it was a little bit difficult to. We wanted to do only 6 episodes, and we wanted to do 1 for introduction. So we have 5, had 5 left. So if you have to pick from Spain, which is so big with so much difference, which 5 do you pick? We could have easily made 10 episodes and still have some left, which we wanted to talk about. But we stick to the ones that we have now, so we will see a lot of differences for sure. We had one question coming in, but I think this one was asked to you personally more and more. When is the white wine project coming? So I understand if you have red wine all day, then the question is, when does the white wine come? But,
it's one of our dream again.
Yeah.
White wine, but it's not the moment. But we know where we should go if we decide to invest and to
so
buy.
You do have an idea about what grape or region it would be.
We have an idea, and we used to talk about the name.
So it's quite advanced already in your head, at least. It's,
but not. It's not in the near future. I'm sure we will do it, but not now. But I'm sure it will be.
In the meanwhile, you enjoy the wines from the association from Albarino, and you have a lot of connections, so there is enough white wine to drink. Yes, very good. I wanted to thank you very much, Maria, for the talk. It was very nice. I think people get a good impression about Ribera del Yerro, about the wines, about the family and the project. I think that was very important.
Thank you.
I would say for everybody watching, be sure to try a bottle of the Alonso del Yerro or the Maria if you can get it. It's even better, but it's difficult because there's not that many.
Next time,
Next time, the Maria. Very good. Yeah. And when I will be visiting Spain, I will be sure to become a member of the family for at least a few hours and come make a visit to you guys, because the project is really impressive, and also the time frame in which you created it, because now we look back and you say, okay, it's 20 years, but the first years there's nothing, because the vines have to be, let's say, the soil has to be regenerated, you have to do all the research.
Yeah.
Well, if you deduct this, then
when we bought the vineyard, they were 15 years old, and then we made the wine from the beginning. From 2003, it was our first vintage. But that's true that we were recovering the vines and the plots and everything. We had a hard work to recover all these vines.
Well, the result is there, and also in the scores, because you get a lot of good international reviews. So I think people are surely, if they follow that, are not going to be disappointed, because it's a great wine, great quality. Thank you very much for your time again, and I hope to see you as a watcher next week when we're going to talk. Oh no, it's not. Let me check for everybody who's watching. I don't think it's next week, because next week we don't have Grandes Pagos.
No,
I think it's on the 26th.
Days, yeah. I think it's
26th. So not next week, but the week after, 26th of November. We're going to go to Tony Sarion, and we're going to talk about Bobal for sure. Maybe we talk about something else, but we don't forget Bobal. It's not possible. And I wish you a nice evening, and my regards to the family. Thank you everybody for watching.
You too. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Cheers.
Bye. Thank you.